Hello yogis and yoginis, it's been a while, and as I was going through my notes and looking for different ideas of what to offer up to you today for a yoga video, I realized that I really haven't done any dedicated video for hamstrings. So that's what we are going to do today. I've got 3 stretches for you for your hamstrings. This is great for runners, any type of athlete who is doing a lot of dynamic, plyometric movement. We all have tight hamstrings, I feel, at one point or another, and it's an easy or an easier muscle to tear, especially if we're not prepared and we're doing a lot of fast movement, a lot of lunges, basketball, running, track, anything like that. So for props today, grab a strap, a belt, a towel, a shirt. I just got a folded up travel mat here that I'm going to use for one of our hamstring stretches. And we will start on the ground, lying down on your back with your towel strap, whatever it is that you need. Lie down on your back, take one leg long on the ground, and reach let's start with the right leg, your right leg up towards the ceiling. Wrap the strap, the towel, whatever, around your leg. Straighten your leg to the best of your ability. And then hold on to the towel or the strap to pull your leg in towards your body. Now you'll notice here that I am not trying to grab as high as I possibly can with all of my shoulders and neck and upper body curled up. Everything in my upper body is relaxed. I have a grip on the towel that allows me to keep my shoulders down on the ground and my leg on the ground. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but it is also firmly planted into the ground. My left toes are flexed back towards my face, so I still feel just a little bit of engagement in my left leg here. On my right foot, my toes are flexed back, reaching up through my heel to straighten through the back of my leg. And every inhale, lengthen through the back of your leg, press up through your heel. Every exhale, pull your leg in a little closer to your body so you get more of a stretch along your hamstring. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Again, inhale, exhale. And this is one of my favorite hamstring stretches, so feel free to stay here on each side as long as you want. I'm going to bend my knee and switch out, take it to the other side, straighten the right leg long, the wall's in my way. So I'm going to bring the sole of my foot to the ground. This is another option for your leg. You can put your other leg on the ground with the sole of the foot on the ground as well, but keep your hips, both hips down on the ground and square to the ground. Lengthen through your heel on the opposite leg, flex your toes back. Every inhale, find length. Every exhale, bring your leg in closer to your body. On my side, my left leg is a lot tighter than my right leg, so I feel this one a lot more, and I might not be able to go quite as far. That's okay. You'll probably notice that one side will be tighter than the other side. That's natural. We're not symmetrical beings as much as we want to be. Take another deep breath in here. Notice my upper body is nice and relaxed. I'm really grabbing down towards my chest rather than all the way up towards the top of the strap. But then I'm really pulling and letting my leg do a lot of the work so that I get that nice stretch along the back side of my hamstring. So another big breath in here. Big breath out. Again, stay here as long as you'd like, a good 10 breaths or so. And then set your strap off to the side. I need to readjust my headband here. Come on up to seated. Bring yourself up to stand. The next pose that we're going to do is called pyramid pose. And this is another really great stretch for your hamstrings. So in pyramid pose, step your right foot forward and your left leg back. You're about a foot or so distance apart from each leg. Your right toes will point straight forward. Your left toes will be out at about a 45-degree angle. Square your hips to whatever the front of your room is. Keep a long, tall spine here and really watch my spine as I come down. Press down through your feet, get a nice firm foundation underneath your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, grow tall. Exhale, start to hinge from your hips. Now you'll notice as I hinge down from my hips, I'm keeping that flat, tall spine rather than just rounding forward. You can certainly round forward in your spine and bring your hands down, but you won't feel anything in your hamstring. When you keep your spine nice and tall and you hinge from the hips, you'll start to feel that pull in your hamstring in the back of your forward leg. So keep a tall spine. You could have a book, a block, a pillow, something underneath your hands if you can't bring your hands all the way down to the ground. I'm going to keep my hand right here on my leg. Every time I inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Every time you exhale, hinge even deeper from your hips. Keep as flat of a spine as you can, and that will deepen the stretch that you feel in your hamstring. A note on your straight leg, always keep a tiny little micro bend in your knee. We never want to lock out the knee. That goes into hyperextension and it can damage your joint. So keep a tiny little bend in your knee, really press firmly down through both feet and square your hips as much as you can. You'll have to pull your right hip back and your left hip forward. And you can even bring your hands to your hips and do that little motion and you'll feel that turn on in your hamstring right towards the inside edge of your leg. And then press down through the big toe mound right underneath your big toe and your forward foot. That brings more weight into the inside edge of your foot and activates the hamstring muscle, your leg muscles in a different way. As you inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, hinge. Keep your hips square. Continue to breathe. Again, take 10, maybe more breaths here if you can. To come out of it, bend your knee. Put weight into your front foot and rise up with a flat back, and then we'll switch sides. Place your left foot forward and your right foot back, and say 2, maybe 3 feet in between your legs. It will depend on the flexibility of your hips. You're about a foot distance apart, maybe even less. I just about line up the back of my heel, my right heel to my left foot here. So square your hips to whatever is front of room for you. Draw your tailbone down, lengthen your spine. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hinge forward. And again, you'll find one side is tighter than the other side. Probably the same side that you found on the last exercise because we're stretching the same muscle. Rest your hands down on your leg, the ground if you can, but I don't want you to bring your hands to the ground if it's going to cause you to round through your upper back. I want you to keep that tall spine. So I can just barely put my fingertips on the mat here, but it's easier for me to bring my hands to my legs and I still get the same exact stretch in my hamstring. Now I can pull my right hip forward and my left hip back, press more into the inside edge of your left toe. Take a deep breath in and lengthen. Exhale, fold, hinge from your hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Really press into the knife edge of your back foot too so that your back leg stays strong. Take one more breath for me here. Exhale, hinge down and bend your knee in your left leg. Press into your left foot and rise all the way up with a flat back. My hamstrings feel so much better already. One more pose for your hamstrings. I'm sure that you've seen this before in your gym class when you were in elementary school and you had to do that little push box test to test your flexibility. I don't know, I went to high school and elementary school in Ohio and we had like these presidential fitness tests where you had to press a little metal thing and measure how many inches you could press it. I bet that scarred so many people growing up. But this is the yoga version of that exact exercise, and it's called Paschimottanasana in Sanskrit and yoga, or in layman's terms, a seated forward fold. That's the English term for it. So come up all the way on your sit bones. That might mean you have to move aside a little bit of extra flesh. Flex your toes back towards your face. Sit up tall. If you feel a rounding in your low back here, then sit on a block, a blanket, roll up your mat, get a little height underneath your sit bones so that you feel a natural forward tilt in your pelvis. That's what we're going to use here to fold forward. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge from your hips. You'll notice this forward fold is not me just rounding through my back. This is me keeping a flat spine. You might need to bend your knees a lot here. Arms up overhead, hinge from your hips. Drop your hands down to wherever they reach. The more you straighten your legs, the more you'll feel this in your hamstrings. And then keep a flat spine as best you can. Hinge forward, and then you'll feel that tug at your hamstrings. A word here on what we call the edge in yoga. We never want to stretch past the point where we are coming into pain or extreme discomfort. So if you feel this really tight pulling and you have that one little inkling of a thought that, that doesn't feel great, that could pull, then come out of it. It's okay. Stay just behind that edge for a few breaths and then maybe go back into it and ease your way into the stretch. We never want to do huge motion, huge folding down and then tear a muscle in our hamstring because we're trying to stretch, not tear, and we're trying to lengthen. And that happens gradually and with ease, not force. So you'll notice my spine stays straight. It's almost like you might feel like you have to lean back to keep your spine straight as you hinge forward. And I'm just gonna stay here and continue to breathe. Every time I inhale, I lengthen my chest, lean back through my spine. Every time I exhale, I hinge forward, and maybe I can come down a little bit further. But I'm never gonna round my back here in this forward fold. You can grab hold of your feet. I don't care if you can reach them or not. You can have your hands by your side, on your shins, thighs, bend your knees again as much as you need if this is super, super tight. There are so many different options here. Take another deep breath in. Deep breath out, and inhale, rise all the way up. Shake out your arms and your legs. And those are your 3 hamstring stretches. So the first one, you use the towel, the strap, whatever you've got handy to lie down on your back and bring your leg closer to your body. The second one, pyramid pose, we're standing, hips are square towards whatever is the front of the room for you, and you hinge from your hips and keep a flat spine. And the third one is sitting and hinging from the hips, keep that flat spine. So if you think about those 3 exercises, we're pretty much doing exactly the same thing. Our legs are just in a slightly different orientation to gravity, and you're always keeping a flat spine and allowing the hinge to come from your hips. That's flexion in your hips to help you mitigate the hamstring stretch and find that stretch for yourself, because it will be different in every one of us, and it will be different day to day depending on how flexible your hamstrings are on any given day. I hope that you found these hamstring stretches to be helpful and that your hamstrings feel a little bit better. I know that mine do. If you have any questions or feedback, please do reach out. Ask me a question in the comments below or send me an email. Visit my website. I've got tons of great information on ashleyjosephine.com. All things about yoga and healthy living and living yogically. Again, my name is Ashley Josephine. Thanks so much for stopping by, and have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Namaste.